Your Excellency, welcome to Tasmania, and thank you for joining me here today at the Bishop's House in Hobart.
And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to reach out in a different way to the people and the Catholic people here in Hobart and in Tasmania.
This is your first visit to Tasmania, and over the past week you've been travelling around the state, visiting various schools and parishes. What's your overall impression been of Tasmania and of the Catholic Church here?
Well, to start off with Tasmania as itself, I mean, it's a place that I've wanted to visit for a long time, having lived already in the region once in New Zealand, and I knew that Tasmania was on the map. So it's certainly an area, state that I wanted to visit, and although I've only had a bit of a taste, it's certainly very beautiful, very varied landscape, something I really I wouldn't say didn't expect, but didn't quite know what to find, and it really has been a very beautiful experience. And then the same would be with regards to the life of the church, the Catholic Church here in Tasmania. I've had some experience. I've had touched some of it, not all of it. It's a quick introduction if you want, but certainly it's a very positive one. I have had experience of celebrating Mass in a parish in South Hobart this past Sunday with Father Michael Tate, who he visited me when I was in Canberra, so I at least saw him beforehand. Visited a couple of schools, and I would say those are important moments to see the life, an active parish life in the way in which the worship, the liturgy was prepared, the singing, and then visiting the schools. And I, as a boy, always liked going to school, so I do like visiting them, although it was the end of the school year and not all the students were there. Some had, like the year 12 students were gone, and even when I went to the primary school, that not all the students were there. But it's enjoyable to see the commitment to Catholic education and really the variety of the curriculum and the dedication of the teachers.
St. Mary's Cathedral has just been restored. You've had a chance to tour around the cathedral. What do you think of it?
It's a very beautiful church. The altar right there in the middle, and plenty of space all around it itself. You know, if you have liturgies, ordinations, I said to the Archbishop, I hope you fill this up with when you have an ordination liturgy of people, you know. So a beautiful church is a good thing, because a church is not just a building. A church is a teacher, because one of the things about it, through stained glass, through the decorations, Stations of the Cross, saints, and other things, is something it's an instrument through which the faith can be taught. You know, so that as well as the liturgical music and the resounding sound of it all, and the echoes and all of that, it really makes a very beautiful experience.
You've been an apostolic nuncio for 17 years now in various countries. Can you just explain to me what an apostolic nuncio actually is and what's involved with your role?
Essentially, it is the Holy Father can't be everywhere physically, although nowadays with media it's more possible than it used to be. But really, you know, the Holy Father cannot be anywhere, everywhere, personally and physically, and it's been a centuries-long tradition that the Holy Father sends his own representatives to be a bond of unity between between him as the successor of Peter and the local churches. So, in a sense, you are the ears, the eyes, the hands of the Holy Father in a local church, and it's a two-way street in the sense that I represent the Holy Father. I bring things from Rome and this connection with the center of the universal church, and then I am a link between the local church, not the only one, but the link between the local church and the Holy Father, you know, with what is going on, to inform him and the other offices, the now dicasteries of the Roman Curia, where it applies. So
here in Australia, like most Western countries, there's a little bit of a struggle with declining mass attendances and retaining young people within the church. Do you have any insights or words of wisdom in regards to how we might approach evangelization in this day and age?
It's a challenge, because one of the things that Pope Francis repeats from time to time is that we have to make the faith attractive. We have to attract. That's how the gospel works. That's how Jesus himself worked walking, and then people are attracted to the message, attracted to the people who announce the message. So and it's a world in which there are many, many different kinds of attractions, if you will, and ways of thinking and possibilities, and it's a real marketplace of ideas. But what we have the message. We have the message of the gospel. We have the message of God's love. We have the message of God's love being made manifest in Jesus Christ. We have the message of the testimony, the witness of so many who have gone before us. And we have service, which is one of the things that I think is going to help us to be that arm of the church, the charitable arm of the church. You have that aspect of preaching, teaching, sacramental life, and then you have the aspect of responding to the people's needs, which very much is an education. I mean, anywhere I've gone, the mission countries, places like Africa, where the church is present for only 100 years or so, what are they working on? A place like Kenya, more than 1/3 of the health care, more than 1/3 of the education is all in the hands of the church, which is a tool in itself. The educational tool, the service, the people, they see who you are, what you are doing, and what is it that is motivating you. As I said, there are a lot of other things that are leading people all over the place in the world of today. And we have this message which we must continue to preach day in and day out. There is a passage in St. Paul where he says that one person plants, one person waters, about like an agricultural idea, which fits here. This is a big agricultural country. One person plants, one person waters, one person puts the fertilizer, but it's God who gives the growth. So each of us, we do what it is that we are able to do, in however we are able to do, in whatever vocation we have received, to do that, to do our part to build up the life of the church, and it's God who gives the growth. So I think to approach it with, it's a challenge, but to approach it with this positive mindset that God is behind us, we are doing God's work, and in the end it will be God who bears the fruit, who brings out the fruit of our work. So I'm not discouraged.
Well, Your Excellency, thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
your time today and
Yes.
for coming to visit us here in
Yes.
Tasmania, and we hope you might return before too long to visit us.
Well, this is just a first taste. Now I have to bring a car down, get on the Spirit of Tasmania and come over in the car and drive around to all these little places where you can. I'm not, age-wise, and I'm not much of a tramper and going out with a backpack and camping. So I'm unfortunate. I'll be limited to where the roads are. So, but it's really a very beautiful place, and I certainly wish to come back.